Hi everybody, Judy Tuttle here with Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Midland, Texas, and I'm excited to have you with me here today. We are going to be working with the beautiful Unbounded Beauty bundle that is on page 54 and 55 of the catalog. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. I just grabbed my catalog so I could show it to you. We will be making 3 beautiful cards together today, and you can get a card kit to make 6 cards, 2 each of the 3 designs for any order this week up $35 or more. I'm going to talk more about that as you get closer, but you get a card kit in the mail. You can always go back and watch this video for a video tutorial. You get envelope, everything you need. Sorry. I had something on my tongue there. Everything you need to create these beautiful cards, okay? So let me get you on my computer screen here, and we can get us started stamping. When you come on, let me know you're here. I love when we can chat together and talk together about the things that I'm making. So here we go. I'm going to turn my camera down and around as usual. If this makes you dizzy, close your eyes for just a second. It'll only be a quick second here. All right, there we go. All right, so first of all, if you want to get the class to go here, you're going to go to my TuttleUpShop.com and you're going to use host code 9UHXNQEW to place your order. That lets me know that you want this class to go. Or if you place an order of 150 or more, don't use my host code. You will get more free product if you use your own, but that's only on orders of $150 or more, okay? So things to talk about. First of all, Sherry Thied for Motes, if you are watching, you earned or won my cards from last week. These are the 3 cards that I made in last week's Facebook Live using the You Are Beautiful stamp set and the Frames and Flowers Designer Series paper. So pretty. Here was the second one, and here was the third one, a pretty little gatefold card. So Sherry, I think I have your address, but just in case, will you private message me and give me your address, and I will get these out in the mail for you. Hi, Brenda. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're here. You're joining me over your lunch break, I'm assuming, right? All right. So we have an amazing starter kit special coming on this month in May. Just until the end of May. So normally the starter kit is always the best deal. $99, you get $125 worth of free product, and you get a discount, 20% off all your orders for as long as you choose, okay? But this month, in the month of May, they're throwing in a whole set of the new ink colors that I'm going to be using today, a package of the assorted ink colors cardstock, a package of the 6x6 Designer Series paper in the in colors, and a set of markers. That's an $82 value. So for $99, you can pick 125 of anything you want, and they're throwing in $82 more for free. You get free shipping, and you get 20% off all of your orders until as long as you want. Now, I want to just make this very clear. Most people on my team just do it to get the discount. That is great with me. Hi, Mary. Hi, Chelsea. Thanks for joining me. I get so excited when people start popping on and saying hi. So the starter kit special is going on until the end of May. If you are someone who already orders $100 or so every single month, you're really getting the starter kit is really in your best interest, okay? I love to take your orders, but I also want you to get the most value for your money. So the starter kit special, this one only goes until May the 31st, okay? Now, something I'm excited about is that I was asked to join a tutorial team. We're called the Talented Tutorial Team. I don't know how talented I am, but I am amongst some of the best in the business. Here's the names of everybody. And every month we are creating a tutorial bundle. This one has 16 projects inside, all showcasing the new 2024-2026 in colors. You can see a whole fun of assortment. You get this PDF for free. All color instructions, pictures, beautiful tutorials for any order you place with me in the month of May of $75 a month or more. I will email this out to you through the email as soon as I get your order. And then you can start looking through. You can print it off. You can just keep it on your computer if you want. But all of these projects are featuring the new 2024-2026 in colors, okay? If you're on my team, you might be saying, well, that's a bummer because I am already shopping to get my 20% discount. If you reach certain goals this month, I will give that tutorial to you as well. Like, for instance, Brenda, who's on, just earned Bronze Elite status on my team, so she will get that tutorial for free. All right, so I'm so excited. Let's get started to show you what we're going to be stamping together today. If you look at page 55 and 56, 54 and 55, the Unbounded Beauty Suite. This is what I'm going to be stamping with you today. The beautiful Unbounded Beauty Designer Series papers, the Flowers of Beauty with the matching dies, the Unbounded Love with the matching labels, and then I am using actually the sparkling in color faceted gems. Look at all the sparkle in that. Yeah. So how fun is that? This is what we're going to be making today. And I had to make a last minute change because I realized the card I was going to show you today is one that is in this tutorial bundle. And I'm not supposed to do a Facebook Live on it. It's supposed to be exclusive. So these cards are exclusive to our group and to anybody our group sends them out to for ordering $75 or more. Okay, so it is amazing, Brenda. You're going to be really glad you got it. So I had to make a last minute change, but I think you're still going to love the card. The first card, though, we're going to make today is this one that says, "You're a true blessing." I entered this card into a card design challenge in my mentoring group that I'm in, and it won for the best card for the month. So I'm excited to make it with you. I'm very proud of this card. It's one that I made for Swaps last month, and how honoring that they chose it as their best and favorite card. So I want to make it with you, okay? So we are starting with a piece of our Summer Splash. This is one of our new ink colors, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Okay, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I'm going to pull out all my pieces here. So we start with a piece of, I just realized that I don't have the embossing folder that I need. Okay, I'm going to use this one. 3 1/2 by 4 inch piece of basic white. And then I have a 3 5/8 inch by 4 1/4 inch of Petunia Pop is the name of that one. Petunia Pop. We're going to be using Petunia Pop a lot today. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece of basic white that's 3 1/2 by 4, and I'm going to emboss it in our new eyelet 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to put this piece in here. I'm going to go over here to my Big Shot. And if you're doing a 3D embossing folder, you're going to use plate number 1, right here, and the gray plate number 4. That's the sandwich you're going to use to run it through the die cutting machine. I had someone ask me if I would tell you guys what plates I'm using, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, so here is my embossed piece. How beautiful is that? And then I'm going to just attach that right here to this Petunia Pop panel right there, okay? So let me grab some liquid glue. I prefer, I just think it gets in all those crevices really well and helps it stick a little bit better. Okay, right there. Then I'm going to grab my Petunia Pop ribbon and I'm going to wrap it around the bottom edge here. Yeah, it's a very pretty embossing folder, isn't it, Chelsea? I love it as well. And then I'm going to cut a piece of my Petunia Pop ribbon. I'm going to tie it right over here, kind of bottom right. Remember how I tie, right over left, form a V, go underneath, pull it into 2 perpendicular lines, loop up from the bottom, and there we go, right there. Beautiful bow. If you missed that, if I went too far, I did a video on it a couple weeks ago. It's one of my Tuttle Thursday tips. It wasn't last week's, but it was the week before. So go take a look at it and practice a little bit. Once you get it, it is a piece of cake. Okay, there we go. All right, so there's that panel. I'm going to set that aside for just a second. I'm going to grab some more pieces here that I have pre-cut. So I have a panel that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to add this beautiful, isn't that so pretty? I love this designer series paper. And it is from that Unbounded Beauty Suite as well. And I am going to attach these 2 together, but I'm going to attach it just like I did right here, like flush with the left side of the card. Everything's kind of pushed to the left on this. Add some liquid glue so that I have a little wiggle room. See, when you have something with just such a little edge on it like that, you need the wiggle room to get it straight. All right, and I'm going to take my bone folder and press it down here. And then I'm going to add this panel to the front of my card. All right, so flush with the left-hand side, right there. It's very tight. Okay, there we go. And then this one is actually going to get popped up on top of this one right here. Okay, but before I do that, I'm going to add some elements. So I have cut out already for us from our, this is called the Flowers of Beauty dies. These 2 tall stems. So there's this one right here, tall kind of wildflower stem, and there's this one right here, this kind of a leafy stem. And I'm also going to end up using this one once I stamp my image here in a second. So from that, I have already pre-cut for us here this tall stem right here. Isn't that so pretty in Petunia Pop? And then I cut this leafy stem out of the Summer Splash. So I'm going to just glue these down kind of right over. I could even tuck this underneath here if I wanted to. My panel, my front panel right here. So I'm going to grab my liquid glue. My friend Cindy Howard from Hazen sent me this liquid glue bottle that has a nice little tip on it, and so I've been pouring our mono adhesive glue into it, and it does seem to not clog quite as much as our bottles do, but I'm still using our glue. I just put it in a different bottle. Okay, right there. And then this one is going to go over top of it. Right here. Aren't these colors beautiful? I really do love our new in color collection. Some years I don't love it as much, but this year I really, really do love it. All right, so this is going to go right here on the front of our card in just a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and grab, there are 2 stamps here from the Unbounded Beauty stamp set, Flowers of Beauty, and this one is more of a detail, like line design, and this is more of a solid image. I'm going to use both of those. I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock here. And I actually have found it easier if you start with the more solid image first, even if you're going to stamp it off, okay? So I've got my foam mat here. Move those out of the way. In fact, I don't need these 2 anymore, so I can put these back in the envelope. Okay. And just on a piece of basic white paper, we are going to take our Summer Splash ink pad. And like I said, I did this, I made 26 of these, so I did a lot of them. And I'm doing, I just messed up. I'm going to flip it over because I want to stamp off that solid image once first. So let's go back over here. That was my teaching you what not to do part. Okay, so right here, stamped it off once. Okay, it's very light and subtle. And then I'm going to get the more detailed image, ink it up with Summer Splash, and line everything up and stamp on that more detailed image. Isn't that pretty? Then I would take this die, line it all up together, go over here to my Big Shot and cut it out. But I've already done that for you to kind of save us some time. You know, the magic of television right here. So I'm just going to add that right there. Isn't that so pretty to the front of with those other panels there? You could really do this card in any of the new in colors. This is just the 2 that I chose, but there's no magic system to it. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take this panel and I'm going to pop it up on the front of my card. Straighten that ribbon out just a tad there. There we go. So I hope you all that are mothers out there had a great Mother's Day. I had a beautiful Mother's Day. We actually ate together on Saturday because, you know, restaurants are really busy. So we ate together on Saturday at a restaurant here in Midland called Aldridge Gardens. I love it. It's one of my most favorites. And it's inside a huge nursery center. So that's fun because then you can shop for flowers, which is exactly what I did. There we go. How pretty is that? Isn't that gorgeous? All right. And now I have a stamp that says you are a true blessing. And we are going to ink that up in Petunia Pop on our scrap of basic white here. So I'm going to pull this back out. I'm gonna stamp, "You are a true blessing." I love that sentiment. How many people in life would you say that to, right? And then one of the label dies that I truly love is one here that goes with the Unbounded Beauty stamp set. You can buy this stamp set and these dies in a bundle. And look at all those unbelievably beautiful label dies. They are so pretty. I'm using this one right here. And when I first used it, I didn't realize, but it's kind of a cool thing. I'm going to take this and tape it down with my Post-it note tape that I always use. And I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine over here off screen. And I want to show you what this does because it is super cool. So when you die cut this out, the cool thing about it is it die cuts out this beautiful little scalloped label. There's my sentiment. And then here is a beautiful little scalloped label that frames it. See that? Isn't that fun that it comes out in two pieces? I like that. Really like that aspect of that die. Now, not all of them do that. There's a couple of, this one here cuts the center out, that scallop there, but this scallop here does not. So it'll be fun to play with these and find out some fun things that you can do to layer them and make beautiful frames around the sentiments in this Unbounded Love stamp set. So many beautiful words. We're going to use it again here in just a little bit. So I'm going to take this frame. Looks like my computer has decided to stop. There we go. I'm going to take this frame and I'm just going to add some glue right here to the outside edges. And that is going to get glued flat right there with those stems and flowers, okay? Then this piece, where it has the sentiment on it, is actually going to get popped up in the center of that. It's kind of sad to cover up all those stems, isn't it? But it's okay. I really think this label makes a beautiful touch to this card, how it pops up like that. So I put dimensionals on the back of this piece, and you can see that it just pops up a little bit there on the front of those stems. So let's look at the inside now. The inside is super fun. We are going to have so much going on over here. I'm having struggled to keep track. Okay, here we go. So we have a couple of more pieces. We have a 1/2 inch by 4 inch piece of Petunia Pop Designer Series paper. It's just the opposite side of this blue flowered one that I used. I have a panel that's 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm gonna eventually add this 3 3/4 by 5 inch white panel. But before I do that, I'm going to go back to the stem and I'm going to stamp the stem. Here we go. I'm going to do just what I did last time. I'm going to stamp it off once first, and then I'm going to stamp it right here on this side, right here. So did any of you do anything fun for Mother's Day? I hope you felt honored. Then I didn't really finish. Yesterday evening, we had our daughter and son-in-law and grandkids over, and we cooked out some steak. So pretty. I love that. I love that. stem, that wildflower stem. I'm going to add this strip to the bottom here. Chelsea, what'd you do for Mother's Day? Brenda, I know you went to your son's. There we go. Oh, nice. That sounds like fun. Then this is going to go on this Petunia Pop panel. Right there. And then this is going to go on the inside of this card. Isn't that so pretty? Up. I'm in too big of a hurry and I'm tearing up my cardstock here. Light touches. Gotta remind myself that sometimes. When I get in a hurry, I forget that and I tear my paper. Yum, that sounds delicious, Chelsea. Sounds like you had a good day as well. Mother's Day can be hard for a lot of people. You know, people who've lost their mothers. I know Jim's mom passed away last summer, and it was kind of a hard day for him. So I understand why that would be a hard day for a lot of people. Okay, and then I'm taking these Petunia Pop gems, and I'm just scattering them over the front of my card base right here. There we go. And that is card number 1. Do you guys love it? I hope you love it. So if you place an order of $35 or more this week, you can get the kit to make 2 of these cards. I cut everything. I'm not allowed to do any stamping, so you would definitely need the Flowers of Beauty and the Unbounded Love stamp set to be able to complete this card. Okay? Thank you. All right, let's do the next card. Card number 2 is this is the one that I had to kind of substitute at the last minute, but I think you're going to love it. This is the card that we made in my new catalog card class last Thursday, but I didn't want to use the same paper that I used on the card that I just showed you, so we're substituting it with some peach pie paper. Let me get everything. I really liked the design of this card. I modeled it after one that I got as a swap, which is fun. That's the fun thing about swaps, is it gives you lots of fun ideas for cards of your own with just switching some colors out, which is what I did. Okay, so this one is a 4 1/4 by 11 inch panel of peach pie, and I scored it at 5 1/2. Okay, yours will be made with peach pie. So I'm taking a panel that is 3 1/4 by 5, and I'm eventually going to add that right there to the front of our card base, but I'm going to add some things to it first. So I'm going to add 3 strips of DSP, and this is the one that's just like the kind of the bokeh patterned, or like watercolor patterned paper. Okay, so I have 3 strips that are 1/2 by 3 1/4, 3 of them, and I'm just going to add them right here. Are you guys excited to see what this looks like in another color scheme? It will be fun. I thought this was a fun design and pretty easy to do and make a wow card. Now my last card, you guys, hang on to your horses because it is a new fun fold that I just discovered and I'm kind of in love with it. So I hope you guys will love it as much as I do. Okay, there we go. Then I have a panel of designer series paper here that is 1 7/8 by 3 7/8. And I'm going to attach that to a panel that is 2 inches by 4 inches. There we go. Isn't that so pretty? So that is one of those Unbounded Beauty Designer Series paper strips. And I'm going to take some peach pie ribbon. Oh, thank you, Chelsea. You're so sweet. And I'm going to tie this around the bottom edge of this panel. I really like this one because the design is really fun and it's pretty simple to do. You know, I'm all about simple, except for the last card today. It's not so simple, but I think you're gonna love it. So it's not hard, it's just a little more involved. So I know that I'm gonna want this panel to go right about there, but I wanna stamp underneath here first before I lay that panel down so that I can adjust it a little, like top to bottom. So I'm going to take out my peach pie ink pad, and I chose the sentiment from that Unbounded Love Suite that says "You are loved." I'm going to ink it up in my peach pie here. I'm going to ink it and place it right there. You are loved. Oh, you guys are being so sweet. Thank you. I am talented because I'm surrounded by talented people who inspire me. So that's what I love about our Stampin' Up! Community, is all the resources, the demonstrator planning place, things that we have access to when we're on a team, makes it fun and easy to be good at what you do. So, okay, so this is going to go right here over that "You are loved" sentiment, like right like that. And then there are a couple of dies here in this die set that are flower cutting dies. So here's one of them, and here's another one. One just cuts a little bigger flowers than the other. And what I love about the design of these dies is that you cut out a whole bunch of them all at once. Look at that. That strip cuts out a whole bunch of these flowers. So I've already pre-done that here. And I'm going to glue these down. Several of them. So I'm going to take a large one, sprinkle them onto the front of my card. I'm going to put this one right here. This one kind of off to the side right there. And then this small one right up here at the top, kind of overlapping that. Isn't that pretty? Now, we have some new gems that I love. These are called iridescent faceted gems, and they're white or clear, depending on, and look at the shine on those. Aren't those so pretty? So I'm going to add a gem to the center of each of these flowers. That would be something fun to add to your collection, are these faceted gems. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to that peach pie, and I'm just going to add this. Isn't that so pretty? I love that. Add this right to the front of my card base. I'm just going to put some Seal Plus right here in the middle, avoiding my edges, and attach that panel right there to the front. What is your favorite new ink color? I'm having a hard time choosing. I really love the Pretty in Pink. I love the Summer Splash. There's really not any of them I don't like. Now, last year's, a lot of people thought they were going to hate winter wheat, but I think it's grown on them. So sometimes when we first see the colors, we're not crazy about them, and then they really grow on us. Okay, so now let's do the inside of this card. For the inside, I have a panel of basic white. I'm going to go ahead, it's 4 by 5 and a quarter, 4 by 5 and a quarter. I'm going to go ahead and attach that to the inside of my card here. There we go. I have another piece of that same strip that I used on the front, but this one is cut for 1/2 by 4. It's 4 inches long instead of 3 1/4 inches long. I'm going to add this to my front right here. And then I'm going to take one more, the bottom edge, I'm going to take one more of these flowers and oh, I know, see? That's what happens to us. I was happy to see Pretty in Pink return as well, Chelsea. This was one of our core colors a few years back, and they took it away, and we were all so sad. Okay. There we go. Little dot of liquid glue on the back of that. And I don't always put gems on the inside of my card. I worry a little bit about the bumpiness of it, but this card is pretty, what do I want to say? It doesn't have a ton of layers on it, and so I think it's going to be just fine. So there's card number 2. Do you guys love it? You're loved. You could put any of those sentiments. Look, you could choose happy birthday with sympathy. May all your wishes come through. That's what's awesome about this Unbounded Love stamp set. Is just the number of sentiments that you can really choose from to make a beautiful card. So you will get the stuff to make 2 of these, but this is what we made the other night, and you can see exact same layout. I just changed up the colors of the designer series paper and what flowers and those kinds of things that we used. But you will get the peach pie option with the online class to go. Okay, so let me clean up on this, and I have this last card. You guys are gonna love it. I love the design of it, and you guys know that I love cards that can sit on people's desks that they can show off. And that's what this last card is going to be. It's called a vertical easel fun fold. Vertical easel fun fold. And it is just super fun. So, hi Kim. I'm glad you're here. I didn't see that you'd come on. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier. Okay, so let me move this aside. And Kim and Chelsea and Brenda are all my team members. It's so nice that you guys are supporting me today. Thank you. All right, so my last card is called a vertical easel fun fold card. Let me get some things out of the way here. All these different ink pads. I need this one on this next card. Okay, so look at this card, you guys. Faith is being sure of what we cannot see. And I want to show you, it opens up like this. It opens up like this. How cute is that? And it lays flat like this so that when you write, you can write inside. There's no problem like that. It folds up like this. It's fun. But look, you can set it on top of your desk and display it for all to see. How fun is that? I love it. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how to make it. For this card, you are going to need a full sheet of cardstock because there are 3 panels on this card. So I want you to follow with me here. I have everything written out for us here. Okay, so we've got a piece of cardstock and we're going to cut it into 3 pieces. We are going to cut it into a piece that's 5.5 by 8, one that's 5.5 by 4 1/4, and one that's 5.5 by 3 1/2. Okay, 5.5 by 8, 5.5 by 4 1/4, 5.5 by 3 1/2. So the cool thing is, just take this sheet of cardstock. We're going to put it in our trimmer that's going to decide to pop off right here in the middle of my live. Let me fix that for us. It's an easy fix. Okay. And I'm going to, first of all, pull that back. I'm going to cut it in half at 5.5. Okay. So put the marker on 5.5, put the paper at the 5.5 mark, and just slice it right down the middle. Okay. Then I want this to be 5.5 by 8. So I'm going to open up my arm, put my cardstock on the 8-inch mark, and slice it off. Okay. Then once I've done that, on the 5.5 by 8-inch panel, we're going to score it at 1/2, 2 3/4, 5 1/4, and 6 1/2. 1/2, 2 3/4, 5 1/4, and 6 1/2. So I'm going to go to 1 1/2, but now I'm not going to cut. I'm going to say that out loud so I remind myself. Use the light trimmer blade. That is our scoring blade. So 1/2, 2 3/4, 5 1/4, and 6 1/2. 6 1/2 is on the arm. It's the first longer mark on the arm right there. 6 1/2. Okay. So I'm going to set that aside for just a second. Then with this remaining piece that's 5.5 by 8, I'm going to cut it into 5.5 by 4 1/4. And 5.5 by 3 1/2. There we go. So those are the 3 panels we need to create this vertical easel card. I'm going to put that away. And on the panel that is scored, we're going to take our bone folder. And hi, Dana. Good. You're going to see my last card. You can go back and replay the other 2. And this is called a vertical fun fold. So we're going to fold both of these panels in at that first score mark from the center. So we're folding them in like that. And then these outside score marks, we're going to fold them out like this. Okay, in and then out like that. So you should have a panel that looks like this. Okay, all right. You have your scored panel and you have your 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panel. Okay, so now we have some pieces of designer series paper, and I'm using all Petunia Pop. Okay, I took the Unbounded Beauty paper, DSP paper, and pulled out anything that had Petunia Pop on it. Okay, so you need 2 panels that are 3/4 by 5.5. These 2 panels are going to go onto our panel that is 5.5 by 4 1/4, and they're going to go on these very outside edges right here. Right like that. Okay, so I'm going to grab my liquid glue. And for this one, I really do recommend that you use mostly liquid glue, because you're going to need the sliding room. Okay, so here we go. Little liquid glue on that one. I'm going to add it to my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch panel right to the left edge right there with about 1/8 of an inch top and bottom and 1/8 of an inch on the side. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this strip over here. There we go. I think everybody's kind of tired today. I had several people tell me, man, I just feel worn out. I just think it's May. May is very busy, right? Mother's Day always takes a lot out of all of us. Okay, so there's that card base. Now I'm going to start playing with this panel right here, okay? So for the inside where we're going to write, it is a 2 1/4 by 5 1/4 inch panel. Let me grab my scrap paper here and my foam mat. I'm using a foam mat because I realize a lot of you may not have the glass mat. If you have a glass mat with photopolymer, you don't need a foam mat, but if you don't have a glass mat, you will need it. So, okay, so I have the blooms here from that Flowers of Beauty stamp set. So I'm using the solid image bloom and the detailed image bloom. Okay, and I'm going to take my Petunia Pop ink pad, and I'm going to do what I did on the last card. I'm going to ink up the solid image, but then I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp it right up here in the upper right corner. And I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom, stamp it off, and bottom left corner. There we go. And then the detailed image, some people ask me, how do I know how to line it up? I don't know if you can see on this stamp set, but there's a pointy petal right there that kind of juts out. And it matches up with this pointy petal right here on the solid image. I found if I get those pointy petals lined up, then the detail image will line up. So I'm going to take the pointy petal on my detail and line it up with the pointy petal on my solid image, and there we go. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here, but in this case it looks like my pointy petal kind of went off the edge, but it still gives me an idea of how to line up my flower image right there. Okay, so now this panel is going to go onto the inside of this scored panel right here. This is where you write your sentiment, okay? So I'm gonna add some seal to that really quickly and just attach that right there to the inside of my folded panel, okay? Next, I have some more strips here. Here we go. You need 2 that are 1 inch by 5 1/4 inch. 2 that are 1 inch by 5 1/4 inch. And I'm using this like watercolored paper from the Unbounded Beauty. You can see a little summer splash and pretty and pink in there as well. And these go on these inside panels on either side of the white panel. They're cut 1 inch by 5 1/4 inch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add some seal to that and attach it right there. There we go. And another one on this other side here. There we go. Okay, then you're not going to need a panel on this side because our front panel is going to overlay over that. But we do need some kind of DSP right here. So I have another piece that is 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches. 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches. And it is going to go right here just on the front folded panel right there. So I'm going to add, you know what, I'm going to add some liquid glue because I want to make sure I get this super straight and have a little wiggle room on it. okay? And it's going to go right. Let's see, it gives you a little chance to straighten it all up and get it really, there we go. So that is going to be our fold, our vertical fold, vertical panel fold, okay? Now this is going to go right here, attach right to the center of this card panel right there that we just created before, all right? So I'm going to put some liquid glue just right here in this area, okay? And then that's going to give me a little bit of wiggle room so that I can get this straight and even, straight up and down. See, it's a little bit wonky there. And I just press it all in to make sure it's super straight on my card. There we go. There we go. So that's our panel. It's going to open up like this, okay? It's the start of being able to stand like an easel. All right, then we have our final front panel right here. This is cut, if I remember right, 5.5 by 3.5. 5.5 by 3.5. It's going to go right there on the front. And then I have a piece of designer series paper that is cut 3.25 by 5.25. That is going to go right on the inside of this front panel. Isn't this so pretty? I love the designer series paper on that. All right, I'm going to move this off to the side for just a second. And then if you are going to put a ribbon around it like I did, you want to do that right now before you put this panel on your paper. So I'm using our brand new, might be my new love ribbon that is called striped satin, striped, let's see, what is it? Iridescent striped ribbon, iridescent striped ribbon. So, so pretty. I love the shimmer on this. It really adds a lot to this paper, I think. All right, and so we're going to tie this in a bow, and this time I'm going to tie it in a bow off to the left side here. Same process, right over left. Take the top, pull it underneath, make 2 vertical lines, loop up from the bottom, around to the left, and push it in the hole. That's what I get for showing off. It's going to be weird on me. Okay, let's try that again. Right over left in a V. Left side under, loop up, around, and push it into the hole. There we go. Okay, there's our bow. I'm going to move it a little, all the way to the left right there. So you would want to put the ribbon on before you put the panel on here, because you would not be able to get it around once it's glued down, okay? So I'm going to take this panel, and I'm only putting liquid glue on this side of the front fold, on the left side of the front fold, okay? So I'm going to add some liquid glue there. I'm going to take this panel, line it up with the bottom edges, line it up left to right. There we go. And there is the front panel of our vertical easel card. Look, sits like that. Isn't that fun? Now we need to decorate this front panel in some way. So I'm going to show you what I did. I cut a nested label that's 2 3/8 by 3 1/8. Now you could decorate it any way you want it to, right? And I'm taking our sentiment that comes in 2 parts. It's right here. It says faith, And underneath it is being sure of what we cannot see. Faith is being sure of what we cannot see. So this would be a great card for someone that's kind of going through a hard time, having trouble seeing any good coming out of what they're going through. And someone who just needs a little faith, right? So I put those two together on the same block. They're two separate stamps. Put them together on the same block, and I'm just stamping it at the top of that label. I'm going to take a scrap of basic white here, and I'm going to stamp this the same way I stamped the inside, but this time we're going to die cut it out. So I'm going to grab a foam mat. If you don't have a glass mat, you need a foam mat. You're going to ink it up, stamp it off once, stamp it on the paper, and do the same thing with the outside image, lining up that pointy petal with each other. Okay, and then we would die cut that out with our die that comes from here it is, right here, our Flowers of Beauty dies. Here we go. And you can see there's that little point right there that will all line up with our flower, and we can die cut that out. Okay, I've already done that for us to kind of save us some time right here. I thought this video might go a little long. And then from our labels dies, that Unbounded Love die set, there are these leaves that are more intricate, okay? Kind of go with this label that has the intricate leaves there, but I only wanted the leaf because I'm just going to attach that under our flower down here on the bottom right side. So I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue. I better put this ink pad away before I get it all over me. Isn't it fun, Chelsea? It's a fun card for sure. So I've got my leaves right there. I'm going to add a dimensional on the back side or two of my die cut out petunia pop flower. You're funny. You're funny, Kim. You just need something there to remember me by, don't you? Okay, so this then is going to pop up. How pretty is this? Oh, I love this. It's going to pop up right there on the front of our card. I'm going to use some big dimensionals here. And then I'm going to scatter on some gems. So remember, if you want to get that all-star tutorial, you need to place a $75 order in my online store, and I will send that tutorial that has 16 projects in it to you. And if you want to get this card class to go, it's a beautiful one. You just need to place an order of $35 or more in my online store, and I will get that in the mail to you. Okay, one last thing to do is I want to scatter on some of these shimmer gems. I can also do the iridescent gems. Either one of them would be fine. But I'm going to put one right here, another smaller one right down here. I'm choosing the petunia pop ones, but I didn't have to. I could have chosen any color I wanted. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Do you like this fun fold? I love fun folds anyway, but this one is super fun for sure. I'm going to make a bunch of these because I love when people can set projects up on their desk, right, and show them off. So tell me what you think about the vertical easel fun fold card. So if you take this class to go, you will get a kit to make these 2 cards, a kit to make 2 of these cards, and a kit to make these 2 cards. So you will get a kit to make 6 cards, 2 each of the 3 designs. if the $35 order in my online store. So I hope you guys love these projects today. I think they are pretty beautiful. These new ink colors and this Unbounded Beauty Suite just makes creating beautiful cards so easy. Let me flip my camera up and around and come back to you. Thank you all so much for coming to watch me on this Monday in May. Lots of things coming up. My BOGO sale is at the end of the month. If you would like in on that, you need to be a part of the group that I've set up on this page. You need to say that you're coming, and then you can be a part of the BOGO sale that's online. The in-person version will be the day before. So great way to get some retired things you might have wished you had gotten and get free stuff from the current catalog. So BOGO, buy a retired item, get the same dollar amount of new product from the new catalog. So more to come on that. God bless everybody. Have a beautiful Monday. Please give me some loves and likes and comments. And I will see you here next Monday for another online card class to go. Bye-bye.